Hello everyone, I am Taureor and welcome. This one is a little different because it is basically a follow-up on last week's challenge. If you don't know, last week I played as Germany and showed you a sure 100% way to restore the Holy Roman Empire with Victoria at its head. If you would like to see it, there is a link to the playlist containing all my challenges in the description below. And that video worked pretty well and you guys seemed to like it. But one of you in the comments suggested a strategy that I found to be just the coolest strategy for Germany I have ever seen. So I'm going to do that today. So we're going to be playing as Germany again, and we're going to be restoring the Kaiserreich again, but we're going to be doing that in a completely different way, and we're going to be exploiting the game mechanics quite a lot. And I'm not saying the strongest strategy. Germany is essentially easy mode. You can just attack Poland and then the Soviet Union, get tons of factories, invade everyone. I'm not saying the most powerful. I'm just saying something really cool. At least that is how I see it. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to use both the Kaiser and Hitler to their fullest extent. Ironman German Reich 6. Now, we will be opposing Hitler and restoring the Kaiserreich. And when you do that, you can get one of three Kaisers. Ultimately, you can get Wilhelm II, you can get Wilhelm III, and you can get Victoria. Now, in order to get Victoria, we need to go down this path and have the Hindenburg survive. I have actually shown that in the previous video and shown a 100% way to make it survive, but in this one we're not going to be doing that. We're going to just roll the dice, and if the Hindenburg survives, we're going to go for Victoria, and if it's destroyed, we're going to stick to Wilhelm II. Alright, let's get into it. What is the ultimate play here? Well, the play here is to restore the Kaiserreich and get the Kaiser back, but also benefit from the Anschluss and all the other focuses here. Now, that is theoretically not possible. Theoretically, those are mutually exclusive. You can't get BOTH Rheinland and oppose Hitler and get the Kaiserreich, which makes sense. Now, due to a brilliant little exploit suggested by the user Mega Rogash in the comments, thank you for that, I now know how to do both this and this, and I'm gonna show you today. Without further ado, let's get into the game. Let's just focus on infantry equipment for now. Get some extra infantry. This time we are going with mobile warfare, and I will be specializing in motorized divisions, but that will come later. Construction, just some civilian stuff. Now let's unpause and gather up some political power so we can start justifying some war goals. And no, we're not getting a focus just yet. Alright, we have 140 political power. Let's justify a war goal in Poland for 3 provinces, so it takes 350 days. And another one. We can do one more country at the same time. So let's do Lithuania as well. It has to be close and relatively small so we don't generate too much world tension. Lithuania will do perfectly. Let's deploy all that infantry ahead of time and wait until we have at least 10 political power to start another focus, otherwise it would stop our justification, and we're going to start with the peaceful focuses. The 4-year plan. Now we wait for the war goal. We'll need a few more peaceful focuses. Let's move towards the extra research slot first. The fact that we started justifying immediately without generating any prior world tension, and that we are justifying on Poland, which is a medium country, and Lithuania, which is a smaller one, well, that is why we're not getting any guarantees. Let's use the political power we've accumulated to go to free trade, which is the best trade policy. Also, I let the bills expire. I don't like them. I prefer to have political power rather than the bonuses they provide. Let's go to one full army group. And I am mostly building civilian factories. They'll be useful later, and we will not do much fighting early on. Let's hire a captain of industry. I'm mostly focusing on research, industry, and doctrines. The rest can wait. Let's do the extra research slot. Let's promote my favorite 3 guys. Guderian, Manstein, von Manstein, sorry. And where is he? Albert Kesselring. They're now field marshals. I'm going to train them up as generals as well. Heinz Guderian is going to lead the army group, and the others are going to be generals in it so that they can gain experience. For generals, I can't remember which ones you keep in the Civil War, so let's use those. Karl Student, Remmel, and the guy with the hat. Oh yes, him. Ernst Eberhard Hell. Oh, I don't have enough supply here, really? That's unfortunate. That's just 2% attrition. They can handle it for a while. Extra research slot done. We need another piece of focus. Let's do Grossraumwirtschaft. Justification memo is ready, and the one on Poland. Okay, let's declare the wars simultaneously. If I were to attack one and then the other, one of them would probably get guaranteed by the Allies, and that's not something we want. If we keep our first war limited like this, we can annex them without anyone interfering and get some more factories and resources. Okay, let's go. These guys are not getting a lot of supply, but that will change soon. And we're already moving into Lithuania. Spanish Civil War, not my problem, really. Although we might want to make sure that the fascists win. Yeah, sure, let's send Nationalist Spain some guns. It will be easier to conquer them if they are fascists. 10,000 a month, which will essentially send all our production, but it doesn't really matter. We won't be fighting anyone for a while. Apart from the Civil War, of course, but that should be easy. And Lithuania should be capitulating in a moment, and we have connected our territories, which means we get supply. And here it goes, Lithuania. Let's just annex everything. Großraumwirtschaft is done. I think it's about time for the Civil War, but let's wait until this war ends. The Polish capital. No, poor Poland. Let's annex everything. Alright, and do the focus to oppose Hitler. And now the cool part comes in. See, we can't do oppose Hitler and Rhineland. We can't do oppose Hitler once we have Rhineland. And we can't do Rhineland once we have oppose Hitler. But we can bypass Rhineland while we're doing oppose Hitler. We already started oppose Hitler, right? So this is locked in. We will get access to this path. But we have not done it yet, which means the exclusivity did not apply yet. And Rhineland can be bypassed if Rhineland is not demilitarized anymore. And it stops being demilitarized if you, I don't remember, if you either fight and end a war, or if you win a war after the start of the game. So, what happened was Rhineland remilitarized itself, because we won these wars here, so we could bypass the focus. And now the exclusivity clause only applies once the focus is done. So what we can do is start researching a focus and then bypass the other one. This is how we get access to both the path that gives us the Anschluss and all the cool stuff over here, and we get the access to the Kaiserreich. And that is the bit I got from the comment by Mega Rogash, and I adjusted it a bit, but it works. So now we're going to use Hitler and oppose Hitler, both at the same time. Time to prepare for the Civil War. As you might remember from my previous video, if you send them out to sea when the Civil War is starting, then you keep all the forces. Hindenburg incident. Okay, we got lucky. This event happens after the 5th of May 37 if we are at peace and the United States are at peace. And it has a 30% chance of being the Hindenburg incident, which you can see on the screen, and 70% chance of being the Hindenburg disaster. So yeah, this is cool. We can get Victoria. If it was a disaster, we would just get Wilhelm II. But I do enjoy Victoria. Oh, I forgot to use the Air Force in our war against Poland. Sorry about that, but, you know, it wasn't necessary. Let's go to extensive conscription. I'm sending you all these guns and you're doing so poorly. That feels like a waste, Spain. Do better. Now we have a choice, mobile infantry or blitzkrieg. Let's go with mobile infantry. I do enjoy it quite a lot if you add the rocket mobile. Right, oppose Hitler is done. Now, the moment we select this, the Civil War will start. But first, let's send these guys out to sea. And once they are out, okay, now we should get them all back. Oh, who can I invite to my faction? Hungary. No, thank you, because they would end up in the Axis, and I'm about to fight in the Axis. So, purge the Nazi scum from our lands. The Civil War has started, we got spawned some new units, and we kept all the land we just annexed. And it doesn't matter, we'll just attack from here, because their navy could intercept some of our troops going over here. Well, we have 6 full armies, essentially. Oh, I forgot to deselect the generals, yes, because now they will take time to return to the army, so I'll have to use different ones. That was a minor mistake on my part. Let's use the Field Marshal battle plan for all that. Should work out nicely. Also, very, very aggressively. And activate. This Civil War will be over in no time for 2 reasons. One, because we sent our units out to sea and we can keep them that way. And reason number 2, we have August von Mackensen. 20% attack and defense on core territory. You know what we can do now? Now we can do Anschluss. Yes, we can. However, I'm going to start with Hungary and Romania so that we can get them as puppets before we join the Allies, which we also plan to do. Germany embroiled in civil war. Don't worry, not for long. Oh, we took Berlin and Hitler killed himself. Well, good. You guys just focus on Munich. We're almost done with the civil war, and at the moment of taking Nuremberg, they should capitulate, but I just realized I made a rather big mistake. I wanted to switch my economy either to war economy or total mobilization, which we could do because of this war and our high war support. Unfortunately, I forgot to do that. What I am going to do is retreat my forces back. We have killed most of the enemy anyway, so going back in will be even easier. However, I hope they retake some of their territory and we can actually change the economy laws, because we won't have an opportunity to do this for a very long time. And yes, it was quite a mistake for me to, not do this. Stop the attacks and retreat. And on my part, I need to trade away all my factories to decrease their number. Oh, we can go to war economy. Should I go to total mobilization? Going to total mobilization will reduce my manpower significantly. We will be left with just 2%. On the other hand, if I do get into a war, we can always go down from total mobilization. Okay, let's give them a moment longer and go to total mobilization. We just need a few more factories. Come on. Oh, here it is. Yes, it's available. Let's go to total mobilization. Now I can end them. They lost a lot of units, so this will be even easier than the first time. So, there we go. Now the war should end. There it is. We have annexed the German Reich. I forgot to cancel the trade earlier. We could have done that right after we switched the economy laws. Anyway, we are now well set. We own Poland, Lithuania, and we are out of the civil war. Now non-aligned. Our manpower will be a bit of a problem because we have to demobilize now. German civil war ends and we're going to hang the Nazi leadership. Get some extra stability for that. Also, we can start working on motorizing our whole force. We've done align Romania. We will want to create a faction with them, but they do have neutral foreign policy, so we can't do that yet. Now, we will need to wait a little bit around this part for non-aligned support to increase, so let's do Hungary at that point. Nationalist Spain has annexed Republican Spain. Let's stop sending them guns. And this way, it will actually be much easier to conquer them later. We have secured the new state. Now we move towards the Kaiser Reich, of course. Now everything is going to slow down a little bit because we need to do a lot of focuses to open up the paths that we want to follow. And we can now create a new faction with Romania. Let's start a new faction. We can now do the same to Hungary. Afterwards, we'll be able to annex them. Would you accept an invitation to my faction? No. We'll have to do a line Hungary for that to happen. Before we do that, though, let's do rebuild the nation and then a new and better Germany. Still not enough support to invite the Kaiser. Not a problem. Let's work on aligning Hungary, so we can get both them and Romania as puppets. Our consumer goods factories are very much negative right now. Pity you don't get extra. Align Hungary is done. Let's invite them to our faction and integrate war economy so we can get 2 puppets for free. I could invite the Kaiser just now, but let's establish the puppets first. We've done integrate war economy. Hungary and Romania are now our puppets. Let's move on to restore the Kaiser Reich, and then we can do the Anschluss and all the other stuff. Alright, we're almost done with the focus. Let's disband all our troops, so the Netherlands are not scared of us. Now that I've disbanded all my troops, the Netherlands should not be afraid of us and block the return of the Kaiser. Yes, the Netherlands block return of Wilhelm II. We have other candidates, Wilhelm III, which will lead to enthroning of Victoria. Now let's do alliance with the Shade and join the Allies. Also, reinstate Prince Wilhelm's right to succession. Alright, we can deploy the troops now. Now that we have our puppets, I'm not sure if we have to dismantle the faction to get into the Allies, but just to make sure, Victoria III is no longer confirmed. Getting rid of all the communists, and of course they will go to France. Modernize the succession law, and accept British naval dominance. Yes, Wilhelm III is not great, but we will have his sister in no time. And after accepting the British naval dominance, we can get an alliance with the Shade, which means we join the Allies, and we're free to do whatever around here. And of course, as a member of the Allies, we won't be able to just justify war goals, but having opened the path of the Anschluss, we will be able to get them through different means. Right, German Empire joins the Allies, and we are welcomed. Now we can do some shady stuff, and we will be protected by the UK. Unless they kick us out, which they shouldn't theoretically do. Just need to improve relations to 100, so that we can get Victoria. And what are we going to do in the meantime? Well, I think we're gonna do the Anschluss. There we go. While being a part of the Allies. Now the cool part of the strategy starts, because we are a member of the Allies, we're about to get Victoria back, but I'm also doing the Anschluss in the meantime. And this is all on Ironman, no cheats, no mods, no nothing. I mean, there's an export involved, of course. Brits now like us, so what are we going to do? We're going to request the restoration of British titles, and that is going to result in a big ceremony. Of course they accept. We shall now send a liaison ahead. Princess Victoria Louise, the daughter of Wilhelm II, if I remember correctly, shall be sent so that she can survive when everyone else dies and rule our nation. Hindenburg aflame in London. The whole royal family dies in a Hindenburg disaster. In Germany, Wilhelm III dies, but Victoria was sent ahead. So, long live the Kaiserin, and she has some amazing stats, extra stability, extra weekly stability, which is quite great, as well as war support, political power gain, everything. And yes, Victoria 3. And now the Empress Victoria of the German Empire is gonna do the Anschluss, and demand Sudetenland. Let's make sure to not get the world tension too high. Italy is creating their own military alliance. France is doing leftist rhetoric. Yes, they're going to be joining the Comintern. We are about to finish the Anschluss, and I'm sending some of my troops over here. Why? Well, you'll see in a moment. For now, we have annexed Austria, and, well, we can now bypass some focuses. Danziger War, for example. Because we have already annexed Poland. And what does that let us do? How about around Maginot? We're going to attack Belgium and go into France as a member of the Allies. If I'm lucky, the French will guarantee oh yes, here we go. They've guaranteed Belgium. Let's ignore Yugoslavia. And since they have guaranteed Belgium, I won't need to make a separate focus to conquer France, so we'll just go straight to France. Also next Luxembourg, but I'm going to leave the Netherlands for later. Why? Well, because I think it will be time to take out the Allies after that. Around Maginot is done, let's immediately attack Belgium and Luxembourg. I could call in the British, I don't need to. Perhaps it will be better to not call them, I don't need them and they won't interfere in my peace deal. Okay, let's go. Belgium, Luxembourg and France. France has been called in, and we've bypassed the focus to get war with France. Now there's a whole range of things we could do. For now I think I'm going to fan Prussian militarism, so we can get a little bit more manpower. Also, let's make sure you guys get some more orders going deeper into France. Still using some cavalry, because I will need a lot of units soon. Luxembourg has capitulated. Maybe go to Paris. That is some quick movement, isn't it? Oh right, Luxembourg, take all states please. I'm currently using 3 armies of motorized and the rest is infantry. I will be phasing out everything that is not motorized gradually, but we just don't have enough motorized yet. Come on guys, move faster. Oh, that's Belgium. Okay, let's just annex them. I could do this much more efficiently with manual management, but I really hate manual management. Come on guys, oh, that was quick. Okay then. I suppose I will take all states. And that's France for you. Now, I think it's time to take out the British. Well, they are an ally theoretically, but I really could use the navy. I couldn't puppet France, even if I wanted to, because I'm part of the Allies, so I can't puppet. I can change governments. I think, I didn't check, but that's what I remember. Anyway, I could use the land, but for the Brits, I suppose I could use the navy, so puppeting them would be useful. Anyway, we are currently in the same faction, which makes it possible for me to do this. They might kick me, or I will exit the faction myself. We'll see. For now, what I need to do is station lots of troops in their territory. Liberia joined allies. Perfect. We can now attack Liberia. Or, the Netherlands. I already do have a war goal on them. Come on, guys. Transport to Britain. One full army group should be more than enough. And we want to do this early before the British Raj becomes too powerful. Ireland joined allies too. Can I justify on you? Well, not until I leave the faction. But let's get into their territory first. I think I'll be able to get military access anyways, but let's be sure. Okay, guys, distribute. Garrison all the ports, all the coasts, and everything. I could do this manually, it would be more effective, but yeah, as I said, I don't like manual management. And this will do just fine. So what we're going to do now is leave the Allies and ask for military access so our troops can stay there and still have supply. They have accepted to give us military access, so we can just stay where you are. I'm not sure the garrison order will be effective if we're not in the faction, so let's just cancel the order. Now, will you guarantee the Netherlands? You will not guarantee the Netherlands, at least not yet. Well then, how about we attack Ireland? If you guarantee the Netherlands now... You have guaranteed the Netherlands. We don't need to attack Ireland then. We can just attack the Netherlands. And our troops in Britain will do all the work for us. There you go. Now, maybe let's not activate the order until they call everyone in. They have called everyone in. Okay. We can activate the order now. Since this is a lot of micromanagement, I'm going to try and minimize that by just garrisoning their territory. Like that. Our guys should move around and defeat their forces. In the meantime, we can also do some manual management to get all the provinces. This should be enough to capitulate the Brits very quickly. Let's take all the crucial bits. We need the ports, most of all. Now, left to their own devices, they should be able to take care of Britain relatively quickly. Netherlands joined the Allies, yes, of course. Hungarian fighter competition, sure, there are friends. Ireland has been called in. Netherlands have been taken care of now. You guys attack Plymouth. You guys attack Portsmouth. As you can see, the British don't stand a chance. As we know from my previous game, they would have thrown me out of the faction anyway. So we don't need to feel bad about betraying them like that. Turkey joined the Italian faction. Dutch East Indies, Australia and New Zealand and British Malay and South Africa and Canada have joined the battle. That again is not a problem here. One major nation, United Kingdom, which means we only need to capitulate the UK to end the war, which is very convenient. That should happen relatively soon. You guys focus on London. Alright, Scotland is ours. That's about the end of it. This should be strangely now. The fall of London, United Kingdom has capitulated. Now, all its puppets were actually not involved in... The war was not long enough for them to be involved. But we can satellite them from here. Anyway, what we're going to do is take all states from the Netherlands and satellite Dutch East Indies. Now, this could put us at war with Japan, but we don't really care. Let's satellite the British puppets. British Raj, British Malaya, don't need to release anyone, and then puppet the Brits themselves. Why? Well, I want their navy, and some of their manpower. Maybe I would have been better off just annexing them, but we can do that relatively easily, and we will inherit their huge fleet if we do that, and that can always be useful. What's the situation right now? We have annexed France and the Benelux, and we have puppeted Britain in December 39, without too much effort at all. Shall we continue? Nigel Kitchener is your leader now, and you have 260,000 manpower. Remember, we are non-aligned, so they are non-aligned as well. Haha, German Raj. That's always nice to see. Are we still at war with the others? How did that happen? You know what, it doesn't really matter. We can stay at war with them, we can not stay at war with them, whatever we choose. I suppose I could ignore them, but let's send some troops to Canada and some troops to Ireland. As for Australia, New Zealand and South Africa, all we need to worry about is possibly naval invasions, so I guess I can just garrison all my ports. Or I could, of course, send some expeditionary forces there to defeat them, but I really don't think we need to. But since we already have nice landing spots in Canada and in Ireland, there's no good reason to not do it. We're not really using tanks, so instead of modern blitzkrieg, let's go with desperate defense. I could use the extra manpower. Of course I can steal it from puppets, but it will come in handy. Wait a minute, is Ireland not involved in the war? Oh, it is not. Liberia and Ireland are not involved in the war. Well, Canada is. We'll leave this army there just in case they're called in. I wonder how Sudetenland will go when the Brits are our puppets. Can you land in Canada before they block off the port? You should be able to. Italy claims Greek territory, not my problem. Although I suppose I could use Greece for my purposes. I could invade Spain, we could do a whole lot of stuff now. But let's just showcase what the focus tree can do for us. I don't want to, run this game all the way. Just wanted to showcase this, strategy, exploit, trick. And I do find it pretty cool. But yeah, let's see what happens when we do the fate of Czechoslovakia. Ireland has been called in. Well, that will be the end of Ireland in a moment. I've done army innovation so we can hire an advisor that speeds units up. And in the meantime, let's demand Sudetenland. Now, it would be good to take Canada because if the United States join the Allies, that is a good attacking point. Ireland has capitulated. And we've landed in Canada. Oh, is that a separate war? Take all states from Ireland. The wars were never no. Actually, the war ended somehow. Did Ireland become a greater power? You know what? I don't mind. We didn't get Canada, unfortunately, but we do have a detachment of forces there, in case something goes down. Although I'm really not sure why this ended. Oh, I know why this ended. Because we fought the Irish, but didn't fight any of the others, physically. So that's what happened. At least that's what I think happened. Well, that's actually good news, because we don't have to stay at war. Let's hire the army maneuver expert. Also, I think I should modify my motorized setup to include rocket artillery, and produce some of that. So we have already eliminated the biggest threat to us, which was the Allies. I mean, the United States can still attack us, but we now have a foothold here. They won't be able to do much. There is still the Soviet Union, and there's still Japan, which will actually probably attack us for German Malaya at some point. Still, that's not really going to be a problem anytime soon, since they're still fighting China. So what are we going to do now? We're going to... Oh! Czechoslovakia refuses Sudetenland. Haven't seen that in a while. Well, you know what? Doesn't matter. Because we can just attack them. And we do have our troops ready. Now, they might join the Allies. Yeah, even if they do, that won't be too much of a problem. Why am I using cavalry? Because I wanted to have a lot deployed, but I didn't have enough manpower to deploy proper units like a large infantry division. Interesting, the Soviets are justifying a war goal on me. Yeah, they did have time to build stuff up, didn't they? Should have sent more troops here, or better troops. Still, we're almost done. What should our next focus be? I suppose we're going to demand Slovenia. And that's it for Czechoslovakia. Let's take everything. We are out of manpower, but that's a temporary situation. I am working on our doctrine, which is going to remedy that. I'm not sure if the Soviets really want to fight us or not, but just in case, let's set up a nice defensive perimeter. It will not take too long to build, and it will help our infantry defenders greatly, so that we can have the Soviets just lose their equipment against our defenses. Italy attacked Yugoslavia, interesting. Well, then I'm not going to be getting Yugoslavia peacefully. The Man Slovenia has been completed, and it did nothing. Pity. Let's do Operation Tannenbaum. Volkssturm, wonderful. We can get all the extra manpower we need. I mean, I could just counterattack immediately. I don't think that is the best course of action, though. Let's let them try our defenses and lose. How's our manpower situation? Getting much better. Let's do bulwark against Bolshevism. And attack Switzerland. I mean, a lot of our troops are motorized, which is going to be a problem in Switzerland, but if you have overwhelming forces like we do, no problem is really a problem. The Soviet Union just declared war on us. They should not be able to get through, but hey, you never know. Switzerland joined the Comintern, and we're getting a lot of volunteers. Cool. So that means we won't be able to just annex Switzerland just yet. We'll have to wait until the end of the war. On the other hand... Oh, is that a naval invasion? Yeah, of course, I forgot to send my fleet out to the Baltic. No problem, we'll deal with that immediately. Motorized, so quick. Let's make sure we secure the borders and train some more troops. Once we have the manpower for that, of course. Have we finished building forts in Romania? Yes, we have. Okay, I think I'll be better off if Romania is involved in this as well, because, well, the Soviets will have a larger front line to worry about, and more forts to worry about. I'm going to call you to my war against the Soviet Union, as well as everyone else. Now, we do have to watch out for naval invasions, but hopefully the British Navy will be helpful in that regard. Oh, I can do Fate of Greece. Huh. Let's do that, although I think that might cause Greece to join the comment, and we'll see. Yeah, what we're gonna do now essentially is wait for our manpower to trickle up and make sure to outfit our units with the proper equipment. Let's train some more. I suppose 144 will be appropriate. We can annex Hungary. Should we annex Hungary? I suppose so. Let's just make sure to send those expeditionary forces home. Yeah, why not? Let's annex Hungary. Right, we've done Fate of Greece, and Greece has submitted. We get an extra puppet. Cool. Now this could lead to some trouble, because Italy has some war goals against them. I suppose I'll do alliance with Italy, although all that does is increase their opinion. And Japan has attacked us. Declared war on Malaya. Which is a bit of a problem, but we don't really have to worry about it. We've done alliance with Italy. I don't think that will do anything for us. I don't remember if they get any events regarding that, but maybe at least they won't attack us for it. Oh, it actually does change a lot. They are inviting me to their faction. You know, that could be beneficial. I could have their help against the Soviets. Let's join the Italian faction. Did send some troops over here, but I don't think they'll be here in time. Oh, I missed that earlier. Yes, of course, now that we own Paris and Britain is in our faction, we can improve national spirit. It is enough that they're my puppet, which gives us extra 1 political power a day, which is a lot. This is why I like having Greece as a puppet. They are very aggressive in naval invasions. I finally decided to set up our guys with some orders against the Soviets, and when they're done planning, I'm going to attack. I think it's time to activate our orders. Let's see how well that works out for us. Okay, going nicely down here. I was hoping for my offensive to be more successful, but we should win eventually. Then lower the autonomy of Britain. I could theoretically annex Romania now, but the Romanians can be quite helpful in fighting the Soviet Union, so let's keep them as a puppet for now. Alright, looking fine. What are our losses? 2 million. Well, that is quite a lot. I need more manpower. It's time to go to service by requirement, unfortunately. For Sevastopol, sorry. I have exhausted most of my manpower, but we are getting through Russia, and we will be stealing their manpower afterwards. Moscow, or Moskva if you want to be precise, has been taken. Italy has invaded from the north. Interesting, the United States seem to be justifying a war goal against me. It doesn't really matter at this point. We can always attack from here, get through Canada and go to them. But I'm gonna be ending this soon. Let's just capitulate the Soviets, because this will be pretty straightforward from here on out. Stalingrad is ours. United States stand against fascism, which is a bit of a problem since we're not fascist. The United States now have a war goal on me. Will they act on it? Well, that is a completely different issue, but even if they do, that is not a threat to us because we possess the most powerful fleet on the planet, and also we have some land over here, so we can just walk into their territory. The Soviet Union should be capitulating any minute now. They are at 99% towards capitulation, so a few provinces, even without victory points, will be enough. And there it is. The Soviet Union has capitulated. Let's annex Switzerland and puppet the Soviet Union. And feed the puppet all their territory. Why do I puppet the Soviet Union? Because they have tons of manpower that you can steal if you puppet them. So it is the best course of action, usually, to puppet countries like the Soviet Union or anything in China. How much manpower do you have? You have 4 million, but only on extensive conscription. That is still a lot. 4 million can make a difference. Let's have a look at the diplomatic map mode. We own this directly and a large chunk of Africa. We have numerous puppets. Russia, Britain, Romania, Greece, Raj, and Malaya are our puppets. And we're also temporarily allied with Italy, Bulgaria, and Turkey. I'm going to end this here. Theoretically, I could have ended it before fighting the Soviets, but that's always fun. Anyway, I only wanted to show off the strategy at the start. This is more of an exploit than a strategy, but I still find it to be very cool and useful. So, if you want to do that yourself and have both the Kaiser Reich, the German Empire, and all the benefits that Hitler's expansion brings to you, that's the way to do it. Now, how would I continue this game? We now own Britain, we now own Russia. I would annex them while stealing their manpower. That would give me like 5 more million and a huge fleet. Then with such a huge fleet, we can easily move into Japan and then either invade North America or just pick off weaker countries one by one, because we can and nobody is there to stop us. And finally, at some point, betray Italy and take take them over as well. Now, if we owned northern Italy, we could form the whole Roman Empire, but I did that in the previous video, so it was not a goal here. Anyway, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this little showcase, and I will see you again soon. Goodbye.